Let's measure the speed of the air with the fan 10 feet away from the airspeed meter. The tissue has 3 paper clips fastened to the bottom to help weigh it down. The comfort zone is on the highest fan speed setting. Splitting the difference between the low and the high mark, the airspeed meter is measuring around 0.85 meters per second or 1.9 miles per hour. And the omnibreeze is really whipping around the tissue and producing almost twice the airspeed at around 1.7 meters per second or 3.8 miles per hour. The Amazon Basics varied from 1.48 to 1.69 meters per second, which works out to around an average speed of 3.65 miles per hour. The Senville varies quite a bit from 1.18 to 1.46 meters per second for an approximate average airspeed of just under 3 miles per hour to move into third place behind the Amazon Basics. The Honeywell isn't moving the tissue too much at around 1.12 to 1.18 meters per second or just over 2.5 miles per hour. The Valkyrie is less consistent than the Honeywell, but it's blowing harder at around 1.4 meters per second, which works out to around 3.1 miles per hour. Splitting the difference between the low and the high mark, the Holmes is around 1.2 meters per second or 2.64 miles per hour. The Pelonis is performing a little bit better than the Holmes at around 1.39 meters per second or 3.1 miles per hour. And the Levoit is holding the tissue pretty steady and making the most airspeed yet at around 1.76 meters per second or almost 4 miles per hour. The Lasco is less consistent and slower than Levoit at around 1.1 to 1.37 meters per second, which works out to an average of 2.7 miles per hour. And the Drio makes the most airspeed yet at around 1.92 to 2.51 meters per second or almost 5 miles per hour. Very impressive! The Vornado has a very large grill, allowing it to move a large volume of air at a lower airspeed of close to 3 miles per hour. The Dyson looks pretty sporty, but it doesn't produce nearly as much movement at around 0.65 meters per second or an average speed of 1.45 miles per hour. With the fans positioned 10 feet away from the airspeed meter, the Drio came out on top with an approximate airspeed of 4.94 miles per hour. Levoit finished in second place at 3.95 miles per hour and the Omnibreeze third at 3.8. If you're trying to have a conversation, fan noise can be a pretty big deal. So let's measure the noise level from 36 inches from a sound meter. The comfort zone is pretty loud on low speed at 46.1 decibels. The comfort zone is at 51.2 decibels on medium and 57.6 decibels on high speed. The Omnibreeze makes more airspeed than the comfort zone, but it's less noisy at 43 decibels on low. It's about the same noise level on medium at 51 and a little bit louder on high at 58.3 decibels. The Amazon Basics is the loudest yet on low fan speed at 50 decibels. It's also the loudest yet on the medium fan speed at 55.6 decibels and 59.6 on high fan speed. The Senville doesn't produce as much airspeed as some of the other brands, but it is the quietest yet at 37.8 decibels on low. It's also at 48.4 decibels on medium and 52.6 on high fan speed. The Honeywell is also very quiet on low speed at 37.8 decibels. The Honeywell is at 50.1 decibels on medium and 54.1 decibels on the highest fan speed. The Valkyrie is just as quiet as the Honeywell on low at 37.8 decibels. It's at 43.6 on medium and it's at 57.5 decibels on the maximum speed setting. Holmes is the quietest yet at 37.7 decibels on low speed. 50 decibels on medium is about average, and so is 58.5 on full fan speed. The Pelonis is the quietest yet at 37.1 decibels on low speed. The middle speed setting is only at 37.7 decibels and high speed 54.5 decibels. Levoit is pretty quiet at 37.8 decibels on low and 46.7 decibels on medium speed. 56 decibels on high speed is pretty good considering the airspeed of over 17 miles per hour. The Lasco makes a bit of a humming sound or drone sound on low speed and is pretty loud at 49.3 decibels. 51.3 decibels on medium is about average, and the Lasco is at 51.7 decibels on maximum speed. The Drio is pretty quiet on low speed at 37.8 decibels. It's at 42.2 decibels on medium and 54.5 decibels on high, which is pretty good considering the high airspeed. The Vornado makes a bit of a hum, but it's still pretty quiet at 37.8 decibels. 45.6 decibels on medium isn't too bad, but 62.1 decibels on high fan speed is the loudest yet. The Dyson is very quiet on the lowest fan speed at only 37.1 decibels. On medium speed, 45.9 decibels, and the Dyson is pretty loud on the highest speed at 60.1 decibels. Excessive fan noise can interfere with communication, and the Pelonis and the Dyson make the least amount of noise on the lowest fan speed at 37.1 decibels. Noise level on the highest fan speed setting does not take into account airspeed or air volume. However, the Lasco is the least noisy at only 51.7 decibels. Senville finished in second place at 52.6 decibels and Honeywell third at 54.1.